You call that radio? You call that radio TV? No. You call that radio TV?
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio TV. We're about to go live to a boat in London for Tankus the Henge. How's all doing it? It's been a while. Feels like it has been a wee while. It's been about a week or two. And this is the first time in ages where it's not been sunny outside. So I hope everyone's alright. Just before we bring on Jazz, can I just give a wee shout out to what else is happening this week? Tomorrow we've got Salford poet JB Barrington, who we actually played a gig with in Salford back in 2012. Since then he's released books, went on tour with Sleaford Mods, so it'll be good to get a wee catch up with him. On Thursday night we're having a Thursday night Rammy, so that means that you can actually call that radio and give us a wee shout. If you've got any opinions or you've got some new tunes you want to share, then do give us a call. We've got a new tune called It's Back On It Again with My Famous, so we'll be premiering that song on that night as well. And Tuesday we've got Tom Hingley from the Inspiral, Carpets, and we've got the Explorathon pub quiz, where we've actually been working with scientists, academics and just mad bastards, and we've this is going to be it's a pub quiz, prize to be won, free to enter, so hope you can join us for that as well. But let's go live to Jazz DeLorean, who I believe is in a boat in London. How you doing, mate?
Well, surviving. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you very much for doing the show, mate. Massive fan of your work, and I was actually, when I shared that you were going to be on the show, my good friend Martin Windybank shared a picture when I think you played Eden Festival in 2019.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And it was quite a mad weekend. But he actually reminded me, I forgot this was a real thing. But look at this picture he's got.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that lunatic, whoever that is.
And was something to do with Hollyoaks were there or something? Because I thought I had imagined that. I thought it was like hallucinated on a potent mushroom tea. But Hollyoaks was there or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, so we thought we'd give Hollyoaks a leg up, and we invited them to be on stage with us during that set. I don't know if it helped them or not, but you know, it was nice.
Looking out for the soap stars, looking out for the soap operas.
Someone's got
and
to, haven't they?
You've got to look after them. If you don't look after them, who will? Mark McInnes is in the house. Hello, Mark. Hello, Lou. Hello, Panga Jack Teher. Thanks for joining us tonight. And Jazz, you've just been all over the news as well, because you were, am I right in saying you were the first? No, that's another one. It was this one. The first UK band since Brexit arrive in France. Is that right? You were the first band to go on tour.
That's right.
Aye. So,
yeah,
what was that like?
Well, it had been booked for a year, and already postponed. And we had to go on tour. We're an independent band. We survive by playing live, as I'm sure you're aware and can empathise with. So when it looked like that probably no gigs were going to happen in the UK, we had to make the France thing happen. We didn't really have a choice. So we bent over backwards to go around their red tape, and we did actually make it to France. But the whole Brexit thing made it incredibly difficult, and doing it in the middle of a pandemic, we had to pull some strings that we didn't know were there, and I'll never try it again, but we did it that time.
What kind of shit show is it to do Brexit? So like we realised that Brexit was going to be a pain in the arse, so we booked our first European tour, and then COVID happened, so it didn't get to happen. How much more difficult is it now with Brexit?
Well, it's multi-layered. So we're an international band. We're not all Brits. We formed in London which is obviously a very multicultural city. So we've got international musicians as part of Tankus the Henge, which just makes things more complicated when Brexit is involved. But that wasn't our main issue when it actually came down to it. It's things like the carnet. So that is an exhaustive list of all your equipment. And we didn't used to have to do that. So imagine you've got like 8 guitar cables and 30 plectrums and an electric piano and a drum kit and 2 hi-hat clutches instead of one in case one breaks or you lose it. Every single piece of equipment now has to be on a list, and they have the right to go through your van or your bus and check off every single thing, and then when you come back they can do it again to see if it's still there.
Plectrum detectors.
Yeah,
there's people walking about as plectrum detectors. So what happens if you declare 3 plectrums and then you lose one, or someone gives you a loan of a plectrum while you're over there and you have 4 plectrums and you're instead of 3 what you claimed?
In reality, probably nothing, because it's just bureaucracy. They're not looking for extra plectrums or extra drumsticks. They're looking for people selling big stuff when you haven't declared yourself as an international trader, I suppose. But what it means for an indie band going across is, instead of just going to Eurotunnel and getting out the other side and going to your first gig, which, to be honest, that was all right for us being in London, but for like a Glasgow band, you've already done like 10 hours, haven't you? Something like that. So,
well, to be honest, yeah, but I mean, we don't even get that far. To be honest,
but, so
get about as far as Manchester.
Yeah,
but yeah, man.
But in addition to the normal trip, you now have to do 2 extra stops each way to get this document stamped at an official office. So not only have you got to stop in the UK and in France, and in any additional border that you go through, you've got to do it on the way back. And that doubled the time of our travel to the first gig. So normally London to Calais is about 5 hours, but it was 10. And that might not seem a lot to someone who hasn't done it, but when you're a tired musician and you're driving a band van, you know, that can make a real big difference. And also it costs a load of money. Like a carnet is a chunk of a gig. It's about £800, £600 to £800, depending on how much stuff you're carrying. So that has come in since Brexit, and nobody really knew how it worked, because we were this splitter van, like it's a Mercedes Sprinter, and we were directed into a park full of HGVs, and we were the only one, and no one really knew what to do with us. So we made a video, and that was what we shared to the BBC and to the Independent.
So you're the first band to do it. So that means that the plectrum detectors, as we'll call them from now on, it's the first time that they've ever had to do it. So
that's right.
They're probably like speaking to their manager, and their manager's like, we don't know what's happening.
It felt a bit like that. And in the end, they'd never opened the back of the van.
So you could have sneaked in an extra couple of plectrums.
We could have snuck in anything we wanted, but you never know if they're going to look or not. So it was the most organised we've ever been. Honestly, it used to be chaos. You just chuck it all in the back, and off we go. But this time it was super organised. Everything was in the right place, and they didn't even open the back.
And also, like, the difference between a 5-hour trip to a 10-hour trip for most musicians means there's a band member who's normally quite has planned his 5-hour drinking session so that he's still sober enough to play the gig. Turn into 10 hours, then anything can happen.
It's serious stuff.
It is serious stuff.
Yeah.
And another thing is just like, did you have to fill out forms before you went? Because, I mean, the reason that I got into music is because I'm very bad at filling out forms. So the idea of having to fill out any form just freaks me out. It's like, as soon as I start trying to fill out a form, it asks me my name, and straight away I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So what are the forms that need to be filled out? Is there any of that going on?
Well, there was a lot of forms that we had to do because of COVID, and that entailed giving like negative test results, and you couldn't use the free ones, the NHS ones, so you had to use private ones. So obviously, in the pocket of some Tory MP, these companies, I'm sure. I think we probably dropped about £1,000 on private COVID tests just to get the right form.
So it's £1,000 in the tests, and about 800 quid on the carnet, or whatever you called it.
So that's a lot of money down the drain already.
Before you've kicked a ball, you've not even kicked a ball yet, and you're 1,800 quid down, and then you've got your travel expenses on top of that. Eurotunnel prices, what's that like?
It depends when you book it. So it's not that bad, to be honest. It's like 150 quid return.
Well, it's cheaper than going from Glasgow to Edinburgh then. There's a bit of an uproar just now in Scotland because it's cheaper to get a train from Glasgow to London as it is from Glasgow to Edinburgh. So everybody's raging about that.
Surely not. That's
yes,
crazy.
It is crazy. Crazy biscuits. There's also a thing called, shout out by the way, for anyone who's getting train tickets, Ticket Splitter. I don't know if you've ever used Ticket Splitter before, but that's quite a good.
You split the journey, yeah. I've done
split the journeys. You can save a fortune doing that. That sorted us out once when we went down south. So I'd recommend that.
Nothing wants to come out. But
I mean, obviously we've talked about the negative side of Brexit. As far as I'm aware, I've only seen a negative side of Brexit. I've asked people, what's the positive of Brexit? And up until now, there has been no positives. But then yesterday, we finally found a positive side to Brexit. I'll just bring up the headline for you here. Brexit triumph as Crown stamp finally returns to pint glasses after 15 years. Does that make it all worth it?
I don't think so, no. I hadn't noticed that it was gone.
Well, I didn't notice. I didn't notice it was there.
What's the 2043 to do with? Is that when this all is over? Is that some kind of
2043?
Is that some kind of sell-by date? So there's trouble.
Well, as you can see, we've got Tim Weatherspoon who loves a bit of Brexit, but is now moaning that there's not enough workers. And there's not enough workers in Weatherspoon's pubs because everyone's leaving Britain in droves. He's also complaining the fact about not enough HGV drivers and that he's running out of beer. But he's still very proud that the Crown stamp will return, and even if there is no beer, there will be a proud British pint of fuck all. And there's the Brexiteers very happy with the Crown logo. I know that bothered about food and medical equipment or fresh food, because there's not very much fresh food kicking about these days on the supermarket shelves. Got some comments coming in. That wee barge looks amazing. I want to live in a barge. Yeah, give us a wee tour of this, man. It looks cool as fuck. Is that what you would call it, a barge?
It's a narrowboat. I can't show you inside. But
no, that's okay.
I'll show you down the edge.
Yeah.
There we go.
Amazing.
There's the dog.
Oh yes, what's the dog called?
Cuckoo Cachoo.
Cuckoo Cachoo, the dog. Hello, Cuckoo Cachoo. How's it going, pal?
Okay.
And we've got, so, mind the blue passports as well. I did forget about that. There is blue passports that were made in France, I believe.
That's
so
right,
that was a win. Another win for Brexit. We've got Kyle King's in the house. Hello, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Carnies are a bloody nightmare. Then you have to repeat for merch. That's another thing. You've got so basically if you go in with, you have to say if you've got like 50 t-shirts, you have to pay the tax on 50 t-shirts as if you're going to sell all 50 t-shirts.
Yeah, it's kind of worse than that. You have to, if you want to sell anything, you've got to be VAT registered. And you've got to have an EORI number. And we don't have those things. because we are a micro business,
Yeah.
and we don't just have one album on a CD. We've got 3 albums. 2 of them are on vinyl. We've got some T-shirts. We've got some hats. Because as everybody knows, in this world of streaming, you don't make money from streaming. You make money from merch. I don't mind if people stream if they buy a T-shirt or something like that.
Or they go to a gig and buy a gig ticket.
Exactly.
You know, do something.
Exactly. But
And you know that's what. Well, I've got a wee side project called Jackal Trades, and I wasn't sure if it was worthwhile making CDs up. And to be fair to people, people did buy the CDs, but I'm pretty sure that's just people buying CDs out of loyalty and to show support, because I don't think people aren't actually listening to CDs that much unless they've got a car that's got a CD stereo. I know Mark McInnes that's tuned in has got a CD stereo in his car, so he always wants a CD. But it's just people showing support. But with regards to streaming, you've got a tune, it's amazing, Smiling Makes the Day Go Quicker, and that's got 250,000 streams on it.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. That's good going.
Yeah.
But that's not paying the bills.
No. But we have a T-shirt that says "Smiling makes the day go quicker," and that does help pay the bills. That's a good example.
Well, Kyle's just actually asked you if you got a link to buy a tee. How do people buy the T-shirt?
So the name of the band is Tankus the Henge, and if you go to tankusthehenge.com, it's a band-run website. It's all there. So
I'll put it up on the screen so people can
we'll send it
get
to you.
it. I'll put it on the screen and I'll put it in the comments so people can try it out.
Yeah,
So
nice.
this is tankusthehenge.com. I'll put this in the comments so if people want to show support, then buy a T-shirt, buy a vinyl. There it is there, it's tankusthehenge.com. Kyle, go and get yourself a T-shirt. He seems to be in already. And what I'm going to do, I think, just now, Jazz, is I'd like to play one of your tunes, just for maybe you call that radio viewers who aren't aware of your music. So is there any song that, what's a good introduction to Tankus the Henge? What kind of sums up, in your opinion, what it is you do?
Are you going to play the audio or play
No, I'll play a video, preferably a video since it's people are watching it.
I'd play the Luna Park video where we're driving the Dodgems around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going. This is Tankus the Henge with Luna Park, taking off the new album, Luna Park,
Yeah.
which you can see
Turn it
behind
up,
me.
turn it up.
And yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what you make of this. Brilliant band, a band you need to see live if you can. And this is Luna Park.
Do I feel You call that radio?
You, Daniel? Are you before me?
Call that radio.
You call that radio?
Hello, yes, this is Dog.
This is You Call That Radio TV. We're live with Jazz from Tankus the Henge. And quality tune and video, by the way, says Kyle. Custine Jack says very good. Custine also says big up the Denon system and TDLs.
Yeah. Do you know what that is? Is that for you or me?
I don't know, I think it was you.
Was it?
I don't know what that is. What were you talking about?
That's the sound system, right?
Sounds like it. I don't know. Let me know what that is. Custine Jack, let us know what you're talking about. Also, somebody commented saying, how was Lindisfarne? Mark says, Greg, Lindisfarne was amazing. It was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. In fact, Nick Byrne Cronshaw commented, he was our stage manager, and he says that he knows you guys, and he's a great band as well.
Known it for a long time. Hi, Nick.
Shouts to Nick. He put up with us. Also, shouts to Thomas, the sound engineer, because we kind of threw it on him. But out of respect to a friend who passed away, who used to go around the festivals dressed as a banana and hand out free bananas. He passed away, sadly, so about 6 people dressed up as bananas and came on stage to a banging techno-punk song that we're releasing on Friday. And Lindisfarne guys were amazing. And we had an amazing weekend. I kind of overdid it a bit because I was at Shambhala the weekend before as well. So I haven't been to a festival in nearly 2 years, so obviously we went for it big time. And I'm still kind of recovering for it all. But it was amazing to see people out having fun again. And the crowds were all right up for it. But I did learn that just because gigs are back, things are still complicated. You're talking about how complicated it is going abroad, but we had to change our drummer with a day's notice. And so it's made me realise that we've always had kind of backups, but I mean, is that how are you prepared for backups in case one of your guys tests positive or whatever?
We are now. We had a few hiccups. I'm gonna come down here. Is that better?
That's cool. No, you have got the coolest backdrop. By the way, that's just a green screen. He's actually in a house. That's just a green screen. Just excellent lighting. Mark McKinnon saying he loved the track. He says it made me think of Urban Voodoo Machine.
Oh, great band.
'Tis the season, says Kyle. It is certainly the season. It's been a long time, so let's have as much fun as we can in case anything else happens. Tam, the van, how are you doing? Tam got the COVID. Are you alright, Tam? Let us know you're doing okay. I think a few of our friends at Lindisfarne's got it. I'm somehow negative. Custine loves her CDs. Colette's in the house. Boo. Auntie Cole is checking in. Love Baby Doll. Hello, Baby Doll. Lou Rogerson saying, I bought one to show support, but I also wouldn't take a free digital download of an album. Someone's hard work and effort without buying a hard copy too. Well done, Lou. You are a key worker, and I love to see people doing that.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
So I respect that, Lou, definitely. But as an artist, we decided to give our album away because people are going to get it anyway. And I know that there's lots of musicians that watch this, which is really cool. Lots of musicians, lots of music lovers. So we spent probably 3 years front to back writing and then recording this last album. We did the actual recording in 3 weeks, but overall it was 3 years. That's a lot of time. And then you put it out and people find a way to steal it, essentially. So we thought, how are we going to get around this? So if you go to our website and you exchange your email address with us, we just give you the album, because you might as well get it from the band, right? And then I don't know, it works for us. So some people have a problem with getting the recordings for nothing, but we're kind of at peace with it, because we've got some other merch as well, and we tour a lot. It's different if you don't tour, and some people don't tour, and then it can be a real struggle. But we decided to make the latest album available for nothing.
Was there any reason why you didn't choose Bandcamp? Because I know that in the past, Bandcamp's worked well was they pay what you want, so you're still getting the email address, but if people want to make a donation, they can.
It is on Bandcamp. It's on Bandcamp. If people want to buy it, then we'd love it. We'd love it if you bought it. But we're very aware that some people can't afford to spend money on music at the moment. And we have to be cool with that as well, because music should be available for everybody. And I'd much rather they downloaded it for nothing from our website than listen to it on Spotify with the ads. You know what I'm saying?
What was that? Is that an advert?
That was an advert for...
I heard a flying advert
Yeah.
for is social distancing, wear a mask, because that seems to be the one that... The amount of money that Spotify's made off of the pandemic as well, it just seems like the government are like, where are people? So it's a Spotify advert. I was going to actually say, man, I've been actually was listening to your album on Spotify earlier on, but I've noticed that you've not done... There's a thing you can do in Spotify now where you link up your PayPal with Spotify.
Right.
And so people can make a donation. So far, I think we've only had about 2 donations that way. So people that are listening to Spotify don't tend to believe in paying for the artist. But it is worth just setting up, just in case, especially if you seem to have lots of listeners, man. So it'll just take you 2 seconds to connect your PayPal, and then it just means people can donate to the band, and Spotify doesn't take a cut because they're taking everything else already.
They are.
It's good to see that Tim the Van is over his COVID. Well done. That's good to hear, mate. I'm glad to hear that. And aye, man, I was trying to describe. Oh, there's Cougar Gachu.
No, this is Moss. This is our daughter.
All right, is this Moss?
Yeah.
Hello, Moss.
Moss, this is your first time on TV. What are you going to say?
What you got to say about it, Moss? Does Moss and Cougar Gachu go on tour?
They go on when I do a solo tour. They went on tour. Yeah.
Can you tour on your boat?
Yeah, it's very slow, but yeah, I suppose you can.
Where could you play on a boat? Like, obviously you're limited to certain stops.
Yeah, there's lots of brilliant pub venues along the river and the canal. So I suppose you could just go around those.
Could you play on top of your boat?
We've got too many solar panels and plants on top of this one.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine though.
Yeah.
Solar panels are the way forward. I noticed how many vans at Lindisfarne, everybody's got a solar panel on their camper vans and their vans. It is the future.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. As long as you
especially if the weather's going to stay like it is. I mean, even Scotland got a nice summer this year, but probably in no small part to global warming, which isn't great.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be sunny to run a solar panel. That's what people don't realise. So if you're thinking about putting a panel on your home, then go for it. It just has to be bright.
I live in a tenement flat, so I don't know how my upstairs neighbours would feel about me smashing the roof off. But I'll ask them. Might as well just ask. You don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, obviously it's not an option for everybody's circumstance, but you might be able to speak to everybody in the tenement and then write to the landlord and eventually get some on the roof for everybody. You know, everything's possible.
Everything is possible. Kyle King says Holland or Venice, surely. Venice, you couldn't take your boat to Venice though, could you?
It would be an adventure. I guess you could, because you could go down through France and then across the Mediterranean.
How long do you think that would take?
Years.
So it definitely would be an adventure.
Yeah, but that's what life is.
What is you're a festival band, right? What? Actually, we kind of we forgot to get. Well, we ended up getting distracted by Hollyoaks. Typical. But Eden Festival. What do you remember about Eden? Did you enjoy yourself there?
I had a great time. I love playing festivals in Scotland. We played Eden and we played Knockengorroch, and they're two of the highlights really of the last few years, because the energy coming off the audience is really second to none. We stayed the night at Eden, but we couldn't stay the whole weekend because we had to play, I think, 3 shows that weekend. But it was a fantastic time.
It's a great festival, Eden. And Knockengorroch, I've got a soft spot for Knocky because I think they were, well, maybe Audio Soup, but apart from Audio Soup, Knockengorroch was one of the first festivals that gave us a shot and a good slot on Mungo's Hi-Fi stage. I think that was about 9 years ago. And we've played it in some format every year since, apart from last year, obviously, because nothing happened last year. But I think what makes Knockengorroch special is it's the first festival of the year. It's the first time all the festival family gets to catch up with each other after winter, because at winter time, I don't know what all the Knockengorroch people do the rest of the year, or the festival people in general, but you see these people pretty much every week for the whole summer, and then they disappear. You never see them walking around the supermarket. I don't know where they go. It's like everyone hibernates, maybe to Portugal or something. I don't know what they do, but it's always great to catch everyone back. And Knockengorroch's beautiful in those hills.
I love it there. I hope we go back soon.
Well, Knockengorroch, shout outs to Knockengorroch. They're actually on this weekend in a smaller way. When it was when they found out that the rules had relaxed, they decided to put on a 1-day festival at Knockengorroch on Saturday. You can camp Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but there's only music on the Saturday. I don't know. They've not. I don't think they've announced the lineup yet, but it'll be good. I wish I could go, but I'll be doing a gig at the Hidden Door Festival. So sadly, by the time I come off stage, it's the wrong side of Scotland, so it'll be pointless me going down at that time of night. But yeah, if you go to Knockengorroch if you can, and if not, go to the Hidden Door Festival in Edinburgh. Greg's saying we knock. It's called the We Knock, I think.
Oh yeah, great. We Knock.
Alan Gray's in the house. Hello, Polar Bear. He also got COVID at Lindisfarne. How are you doing now? Are you over the worst of it? I hope so. You got this, says Panga Jack Terror. And yeah, man, I'm going to play another tune.
Okay.
What do you think we should go for?
A Tankus the Henge tune, I presume.
Yes, of course.
What? There's a track called. What? It depends what sort of thing you're in the mood for. So there's an animation we did called Dark Night of the Soul. It's plasticine animation. It's off the previous album, and the animation's by this really talented animator called Marnik Loiskin, and it was a joy to work with him, and it took him months to make this animation. So,
because plasticine animation's difficult. Plasticine animation's almost impossible.
Yeah,
it's not like Wallace and Gromit just did it with one guy.
No, exactly.
This guy did it himself, just on his own.
He did it. I think he might have had one assistant, but most of it was just him.
Incredible stuff. This is Dark Night of the Soul. Let us know what you make of it in the comments. Tankus the Henge, live on your
Was it a trip or was it a fall? Fooled ya. Got no problem with it at all. Gold and diamonds and precious Now it's over, and we're calling time on you. It's over! Shine that light you made on the truth. All these things used to drag me down, won't be coming back no more. They've been lying to me, they've been lying to all of you. No one gets what they deserve. I've been trying to steal what they took from me years ago. You don't think I've got enough? Won't it just stay the same? Let me back in the game. If I stay in line, they won't see me. They've been lying to me, they've been lying to all of you. No one gets what they deserve. Slip away into darkness, friend. Go and lie among the seeds you sow. All these things used to drag me down. This is the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. This is the dark night of the soul.
Weirdo, or do you want it?
If you don't really know what's going on, there's a show that also doesn't know what's going on. Call that radio TV. You call that radio. Call that radio TV. You call that radio TV.
You're tuned into You Call That Radio TV. We are live from a boat in London with Tankus the Henge. The first time you've watched this, please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch or Twitter, you're wrong. Go to youtube.com/You Call That Radio. It looks and sounds better over there. Jazz is in the house. It's getting progressively darker, so I'm not going to keep you too long, Jazz, because it's turning into like a Halloween skit. But how good was that plasticine video? Let's give a guy a shout out. Has he got like a page that we can follow his art on?
I will write the comment on the YouTube with him on the YouTube video with his website, because he's brilliant.
We've got a question here from Mark McInnes. Cracking video and tune. Must have took ages for that. Kyle says quality. Custine Jack says fab. Great animations. How did you come up with your band's name?
Scrabble and acid.
That is the best answer for it. Scrabble and acid. This is how you get a name though that no one else has got. If you play a bit of Scrabble and acid, you're not going to have a second band. Although there is a band called Henge. I don't know if you know those guys.
Yeah, I've had dinner with them.
You've had dinner with them? Wait, they were parked next door to us at Lindisfarne. And I was just chatting away to them, and they were really nice guys. They let me charge my phone. And then I was like, oh, so who are you looking forward to seeing? Oh, we're Henge. And I was blown away because I've actually met Henge before, but they were, they're dressed up as aliens, or aliens. They're aliens from the future. A fantastic live band. If anyone's not seen them, check them out. But amazing. Who else should we be checking out? A question I always like to ask someone especially when someone from a different part of the country. What bands are killing it for you right now that you think are great that we should be checking out and maybe get on the show?
There's a band called Shishko Disco.
Shishko Disco, great name.
Yeah, they're international band. They sing in multiple languages. It's all about love. It's all about having no borders. And their debut album, Human Alien, is exceptional. So I'd recommend them highly.
Shisco Disco, I will check them out at the end of the show. And what's you've got a big tour coming up, so let's get that flyer up on the screen, and because let's just see you just as you said earlier on, you're a live band, and look at that. You're not exaggerating. You're playing everywhere.
This is England and Wales, so we're doing Scotland and Ireland next year because everything's been moved around. We had so many postponed because of COVID, so we've squashed as many as we can in, but we'll do Scotland and Ireland next year. That's the plan.
Have you got a venue in mind for Scotland yet?
Well, no, but before we played at the ABC2, which was brilliant.
It's sadly not there. It's burned to the ground now, sadly.
Burned to the ground.
Burned to the ground.
Oh,
I don't know if you know, but there's a place called the Art School in Glasgow, which is a great venue, and it's also an art school, and it goes in fire every couple of months. And sadly, this fire was really bad, and it took out the ABC, the full building next to it. No one was harmed, thankfully, but the ABC is no more. It'll be getting turned into flats. Glasgow has a lot of mysterious fires that turn into flats eventually.
So where would you recommend that we play?
Well, I think if you played the ABC2 before, I think a Stereo is a great venue. I recommend Stereo, and that's about 300 capacity. If you want to go a bit bigger, St Luke's is about 600. St Luke's is a great venue. That's an old church that's been turned into it. The Bar is the best venue in Scotland, but that's about 2,000 capacity.
It's probably a bit big for us at the moment.
Maybe a bit big. So let's go for Stereo. I would say Stereo for 300 or St Luke's for 600. And they're good ones. And also venues like the Icebox, Nice and Sleazy's are amazing. They're a bit smaller, about 180 kind of thing.
Nice,
but they're
is on Stockyhall Street as well, right?
That's correct. Correct.
Okay.
You know your onions. That is bang on.
Been around.
So man, we'll give us a shout if you're looking to book a gig in Glasgow. Then give us a shout, man, because I'm happy to help you out with that. Yeah. Because it'd be great to get you down here. Kirsten saying Jeff Barrow would be ace to interview. Lou saying I'd love to see Dead Pony on the show. Do you know what? Dead Pony did say they were up for it, but they told me to speak to their management, and that I've got a low concentration span. So when someone does that, it's like Jazz was nice enough. I just asked you directly, and you said yeah. So that's how we made it happen within 2 days. Do you know what I mean? But when someone says message the management, I just get distracted and I go and do something else. So that's why Dead Pony. But just for you, Lou, I will try and get Dead Pony on the show soon. And so the tour's happening. The album's already out. You can stream it or get it for free on Bandcamp or the website. Are you working on any new material, or are you just enjoying getting back into the live circuit?
We love playing live, and I really relish getting in a rehearsal room and working out what we're going to do on stage. So we're doing that at the moment. But we run a Patreon. I know you do as well. And we're gradually working out how to make new tunes on Patreon and put them out there first, like one at a time, because the album is a big art, but that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to do. So maybe doing one song at a time via Patreon is also a version of the future artistically.
It's God bless Patreon. I don't know how I'd have survived without Patreon this last year. So I put the Patreon up there. It's patreon.com/Tankus the Henge, of course, and go and support if you can, because it's a great way to do it. I mean, it's been interesting. I've not done as many of these shows because A, it was good weather, and B, I was back doing live gigs again. But it gave me the opportunity by getting a bit of support with it, live gigs, getting through the show. It made that I brought a Jackal Trades album about a month ago. Part 2 is coming out next month, and then I hope to get back to a Gyro Babies album soon. So yeah, if you can support the bands through Patreon, I do believe it's the future.
Yeah, it is. It's been a bit quiet on there over the last month, just because it's been such chaos in the Tankers camp. dealing with training new musicians and COVID, and but we've got a backlog. It's going up. I was going to ask you a question about the Gyro Babies video, right? Maybe this has passed me by, some kind of modern folklore, but in the the Equinox video,
Yeah.
who's the green guy that you unveil at the end?
Okay. I don't want to say too much about it, but we had a thing called the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. It's called the Commonwealth Games. You probably get it in England as well.
Probably.
Yeah, Commonwealth Games. It's a sport thing, innit? And so I'm just going to show you, for people that don't know what he's talking about here. This is Clyde. He's a big green guy, as you can see here.
That's the guy.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. Right. That's Clyde. Clyde was stolen. Someone stole him from. There was about 8 Clydes around about Glasgow, scattered around, or around Scotland. And I got a random message from someone saying, I've got something you might want for a music video. It was all very hush-hush. I didn't know what was going on. Went to meet a shifty guy who let us borrow Clyde for the day.
Amazing.
And he took it back, and I've never seen Clyde since. But if you're that person who gave me Clyde, then please get in touch, because I would like to... We're planning a big comeback gig in Glasgow, our first Glasgow gig in November. And it would be good to get him back on the stage.
Oh, you can interview him.
If we get to interview him. How Mark got his hands on Clyde's classified information. I think I said too much. I've said too much already.
I didn't want to, get you in the hot water.
There is
I know who that was.
Yeah, he's a missing person. He's wanted. He's wanted dead or alive by the authorities. So I don't know. That video was made about 5 years ago, so I have no idea what happened to that man. But man, I hope that answers your question as much as possible without giving you any actual information. He's a mysterious green man who is still off doing mysterious things.
I love that. That's great.
So, well, thank you very much for joining us today, man. I'm going to add one more song. Where is? In fact, no. I was going to actually ask you, because I really enjoy the live video of you playing Scala. What's the best venue in London? If we are trying to get a gig in London, where would you recommend us to? We're not going to try and do it anytime soon, because, having to replace a drummer at the last minute, we're just going to take a step back for touring now. But what's a cool venue to check out when we are going down that way?
I mean, it depends what size you want to go.
Well, we did a London tour before, and we're not very big. That was years ago, mind you. We could probably do about 150, I reckon.
Okay, so there's a venue called Jamboree, and it's not just a venue. It's like the center of a scene of musicians, like the grassroots underground musicians, and it's changing location at the moment, but the new location is going to be absolutely stunning. It's an astonishing team who run it. Jamboree London. It probably holds like 200, between 200 and 250, but I haven't been to the new location yet. But in the old location, it was some of the most evocative and memorable gigs that I've ever been to.
That sounds amazing.
It was in an old
Jamboree London. I've got Jamboree Jazz Club. I like it already.
Yeah.
Someone's obviously recommended that before, and I've just forgotten.
That's
So news of the new Jamboree. I've got it here, man. I've already got it. So it's that sounds up my street, man. We could find a band in London to help us. We could do a support slot or something if it's a bit bigger. I'm sure we could get a decent one. Tam the Van saying he's under wraps again. Yes, Clyde is under wraps again. Jolly Green Giants, Love Child. I don't think you'll know who the Jolly Green Giant is, do you?
The sweet corn guy.
The sweet corn guy. See, there was another Green Giant who was like a toy shop before Toys R Us. There was a Glasgow toy shop with a Green Giant that I remember. It was a wee guy, but I don't think he was a Jolly Green Giant. I got mixed up there. You're right, it is the sweet corn guy. I heard Wembley's good for gigs, Mark. Yeah, man, maybe we should play Wembley Stadium.
It's not all that.
Nice, fucking. We're a wee bit better than Wembley Stadium. And that is an excellent bar. It says Panga Chaktarhor. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm sure I am. I've said it 3 times. Used to go there and it was amazing. I'm right up for it, man. I'll hopefully see you at Jamboree. If not, we'll see you on your Scottish tour next year when you come up to play. And thank you very much for your time today, mate. I hope that your extensive UK tour goes well and it's a lot less hassle than I hope there's no plectrum detectors. I hope
Sure it'll be fine. Yeah.
everyone will be okay. Let's finish with one more song. What's a good way to end the show?
Let's play God, Oil, Money, and then we can sing that together when we see you on the road.
God, Oil, Money.
Yeah.
Brilliant, mate. All the best. Say
too.
cheerio to Moss. Cheerio, Moss. Cheerio, Kuguguchu.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for doing it. And this is God, Oil, Money. Go and buy Tankus the Henge stuff on their website. Go and sign up to their Patreon and go and buy a ticket to one of their gigs. Unless you live in Scotland and Ireland, you need to wait till next year. Nice one, mate. Have a good night.
You too. Good night.
We're back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Folks point at their neighbor, you don't belong. Ask the same old question, where you really from? Nothing like that matters to me and my friends. Love is where we start, love's where we end. This big blue marble is cracked right to its core. When the TV turns you off, that doesn't stop the war. Does anybody understand what all this fight is for? It's in the name of God, oil, or money. Folks point at their neighbor, you don't belong. Ask the same old question, where you really from? Nothing like that matters to me and my friends. Love is where we start, love's where we end. A journey brings 1,000 years of stories to the street. Ragged, weary bones and hearts of hope longing to meet. Anyone, just someone who will join with them to weep for something more than God, oil, or money.
amazing stuff with Tankus the Henge. God, oil, love. I'll read out a couple of comments before I go because there's some good ones in there. Could have went more than night. Good show, Mark. Keep wanting more. Keep the Mark McInnes wanting more. Unity, people. Yes. Ali Grant, bad timing, just arrived. We'll catch up. Well, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, Twitch and all that, Twitter, just go to YouTube. It's just better. Loving the show as always, says Craig Hendry. Big ups, Jazz and the Hounds, says Kyle. Say hello. Hello, Lucy. Did Jazz know? Do you know Lucy as well? I think that's what she means. Lucy says hello, Jazz. Cheery, says Kirsten Jack. Cheery is short for Cheerio. As a former stoner, I used to always change the advert slogan to Green Joint. Ho, 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 Green Joint. Only mainstream shills play Wembley, that's right. In case you didn't hear the news, someone called me a mainstream shill the other day. So we're going to have a Thursday night Rammy. I've invited them on. Apparently I'm scared of the truth. So the guy has been invited on to the Thursday night Rammy to explain why and if I'm a mainstream shill or not. So we're about to find that out on Thursday. We're also going to be... That's when the Scottish Album of the Year shortlist is coming out. So we'll find out live on air whether we got into the Scottish Album of the Year shortlist. You never know. You never know. We're also going to be premiering a song that me and Morphamish have made for the Good Times Coming Back called On It Again. It's an absolute banger. I can't wait for you all to hear it. We've got Tom Hingley of the Inspiral Carpets on Tuesday. We've got the Explorathon pub quiz, where you actually think I'm bamming you up here, but we've actually been working with scientists, academics, and mad bastards to bring the best ever pub quiz to use next Thursday. It's free to entry. There's prizes to be won, and there'll be live performances as well. So that's next Thursday. And tomorrow, of course, it's JB Barrington, who is a Salford poet, who is I met him back in 2012. We played Paul Heaton's venue, the King's Arms, and he was supporting us. And he's released books. He's got a UK tour on the go. He toured with Sleaford Mods for ages as well. He's got an interesting story to tell. So that's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I'm booking up hundreds and hundreds of shows. Now that the weather's getting shite again, and now that you know, events, I've had my fun. I went and did 2 festivals. I've had my fun. So there's going to be that. Minerva Wakes is next Wednesday night as well. Make sure if you're in Glasgow, there's about 30 tickets left for that at the Hug and Pint. Minerva Wakes next Wednesday. So there'll be no show that night because I want to go to that, of course. Cracking stuff, says Mako. Thanks for helping me out earlier, Mako, as well, even though we didn't quite get it fixed. Yes, can't wait for that, says Lou. When are we having a big mad show again that lasts 5 hours at least? I think maybe Thursday, the Thursday night Rammy. That's what it's all about. Thursday night Rammy is you can phone in with your opinions, even if they're completely wrong. Just phone in with your opinions or phone in to promote your gig or your new song. I just want to prove that I'm not a mainstream shill and we're not sponsored by Coca-Cola. Thursday should be a laugh. It should be, especially if the people who say I'm scared of the truth do actually phone in. So you're all welcome. And we've got some special guests I can't tell you about, but it will be a Rammy, I promise you that. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in. This is when you call that Radio TV. If it's the first time you've watched it, hit that big red subscribe button. If you've watched this on Twitch, Twitter or Facebook, you're wrong. Please watch it on YouTube for future reference. And I think that's it for the night. But I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
You call that radio?
Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that! Radio!
Yeah, exactly.
And is there a way we can do something like that? By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so, because I think just peeing in general, because I think like my poem is in my paint and
No, cut.